Okay, what's up, y'all? So this is gonna be your August 2021 astrology forecast overview. Now, this is my first time doing something like this. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I typically only stick to like intuitive messages and tarot and oracle, but I've been trying to, break out of that and kind of just introduce some new elements and some, new methods to this channel, right? Um, it's no secret I haven't really been around the last couple of months, and that's just because I've been diving deeper and deeper into astrology, just refining and practicing, some of these new tools and learning how these things work and whatnot. And now I feel like it's time for me to start implementing these things onto the channel, right? So when it comes to tarot tells you what's going to happen, right? Whereas astrology is more so the divine timing of events, right? You always hear us talk about, okay, well, in divine timing, when the universe feels like, it's time, da 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 da. Well, that's what astrology is. So, whereas, we could post a love video and it's like, okay, who's this person coming forward and da 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 da. It's like if it's all conducive as to where the planets are at the time. Are the planets in support of you getting into a relationship right now, or are the planets in support of you working more towards a career in a job and finances than working towards love in a relationship? Ultimately that's what it all depends on. So again, that is why I'm bringing more astrology towards this channel, because it just gives a much more accurate depiction of everything and what's going on. And of course, make sure that you check your own personal charts, because, this is only a general overview of how, it's going to affect everyone. But you definitely want to check your personal charts, because depending on what planetary transits are happening, and depending on what, transits you have in your chart, depends on, whether or not you're going to be impacted much more deeply. Right. So, those of you guys that need help with things like that, that's why I offer alignment readings. You can go to my website, thealigningsouls.com, to book you a personal reading, and I can most definitely help you figure out, okay, how your August is going to go or whatever. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. It looks like the energy is going to be very, I'm going to say bittersweet, right? The energy is going to be, it's going to start off kind of hectic the first couple of days of August. But as we move deeper and deeper into August, I do feel like there's some really, really great, profound things that is trying to happen this month, and that will happen. And I would call August the month of sudden upheavals, the month of adventures, the month of sudden change, because there's going to be a lot that kind of just changes out of nowhere, especially those of you guys that have been feeling restless these last couple of months. I know June and July were very, very hectic months, especially July. It was a lot going on. And we are coming off of the full moon in Aquarius, which shook up a lot of people's lives. Okay. August is going to be kind of like that period where we're not yet into the Wizard of Oz, but we're kind of transiting there, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, we're not yet in New World, but it's like we're on our way there. We know we're no longer in Kansas. We know we're no longer in wherever we were used to, but now it's like, okay, what's happening in order to get there, right? So you have the sun in Leo that is squaring Uranus in Taurus. You have the new moon in Leo that's taking place on the 8th. You have Uranus that is going to move into Taurus on the 19th. You have the sun that moves into Virgo on the 22nd, as well as that being the day of the full moon in Aquarius. And then you also have the entry of Mercury into Libra on the 30th. Okay, so let's start off with August 6th. August 6th, you're going to have the sun in Leo, which is going to square Uranus in Taurus, right? Intolerance, aggressiveness, extremism, radicality, selfishness, dissatisfaction, lack of discipline. These could be, some of the things that come up during this time period. Now, the sun square Uranus natal, it encourages you to do things your own way, right? Always a very complex person. you're most often somebody that's extremely intelligent and independent. You stand out from the crowd in an obvious way. The need to express your distinctive ego through your personality and career could often cause conflict with others. And you could come across as somebody abrupt, rebellious, or just weird, right? Now, I'm referring to people that have this natally in their charts, right? When planets are transiting, it picks up those qualities, right? So, for example, when any planet transits, depending on the zodiac signs and all of that, and houses and all of that, it picks up and mimics, whatever that is. So, full moon in Scorpio, for example, right? Scorpios are known for intensity, sex, passion, secrets, death, transformation, right? So, when the full moon transits in Scorpio, it picks up all the behaviors of Scorpio, right? So that's usually a full moon where a lot of secrets come out. You go through a life transformation, right? And so with this square Uranus transit, this requires a lot of open-mindedness and a lot of flexibility as we enter a stage of uncertainty, right? A lot of you guys may start feeling like this transit is uneasy and anxious, or you might start feeling uneasy and anxious because there's some sort of change that you feel like it's coming, but it hasn't yet hit. And again, that kind of goes back to that restless energy that a lot of you guys have been in for the last couple of months, right? There could be a buildup of attention that can result in an unpredictable behavior on your part, which could even lead to abruptness, rapid changes in directions, even accidents. So we're talking everything from sudden breakups to, sudden breaking of leases to move somewhere new, quitting your job suddenly. Like, this is like major fucking shit, right? So especially if you guys don't know what to look for in your charts and things like that, I highly encourage you guys to please go to my website and book an alignment reading with me, because this is why I'm so passionate about doing this shit. I'm someone who does not like surprises. And so, the tarot is cool and it's still going to stick around on the channel, tarot, oracle, intuitive messages, all of that. But again, astrology is divine timing, and it's, it lets you know what is coming and when. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you now, this is going to be a time period where a lot of you guys are just going to be thrust into a new world. Right? Like, you've already left the old world, yet you don't know when the new world is coming, what it's going to look like, and it's going to happen overnight for a lot of you. Again, new relationships, endings of relationships, new locations. Some of you guys might move back home. Some of you guys might start a new job, end a job, go to a career. Like, it's going to be a lot that happens, right? So, on the other hand, you may be subject to a radical change in your environment, like I said, or unexpected outbursts from other people. This is not the best time for tinkering or experimenting, because Uranus, it rules scientific and mechanical and electronic devices. So if your car or your computer were to malfunction at this time, do not pull it apart yourself, as you would only have to take an assortment of pieces to a professional for assembly. Outbursts of anger could show a scary and unexpected side of your nature if this transit gets the better of you. And again, you only figure that out, how it's going to affect you by looking at your natal chart, hence getting a reading done, right? Now, your ego is strong now, and you want to express your true inner self without restriction. You're going to want to avoid complications. You might even start thinking that sticking to a routine would be the best answer. It's almost like that something's coming and that there's going to be a shakeup. So let's try to act as normal as possible, to not complicate things further and make shit worse. And it may get you by if everything in your life is humming along nicely. Like, if something in your life has stagnated or needs upgrading, sticking to routine is going to prove futile, as the buildup in electric energy is going to zap you in some sort of way. So it really is wherever the universe feels like you need a shakeup. I would highly look at wherever Uranus is in your chart. Like, for example, if you have Uranus in your first house, then this transit might cause you to do something like completely transformational to your outer self, right? Like, you might decide to get surgery. You might decide to go get a BBL. You might decide to go on hormones and transition. You might decide to get a huge haircut, a new hairstyle, right? If it's happening in your second house, you might decide to make a huge purchase, right? Because the second house is a house of wealth, house of money. If it's happening in your third house, that's a house of communication and siblings. So, something could be going on with your siblings. They might move in with you. You might decide to take a sibling in. You might need to move in with a sibling. Something with communication could happen. You could have a huge argument. Let's see, if it's happening in your 8th house, that's a house of shared finances and resources. Something with taxes could happen, or you might even receive an inheritance. If it's in the 7th house, this could be a time where you break up with a partner, or a time where you get into a relationship with a partner. Again, check your natal charts, and if you need more help with all of this, book a reading with me. I got you. All right. So changes in your personal experience or self-esteem may be required, and this could lead to a great new path that opens your life to a lot of more possibilities and opportunities. Now, this could also be a good time to discuss any bad habits or addictions, because this would satisfy your strong urge to break free of restriction and show the world how strong you really are. And I know that for me personally, as a light worker, I always go through the transits even earlier than you guys. Like, I usually go through shit like a week or two earlier. And even right now, as I'm recording this, the reason why I'm not on screen is because literally my fucking hair is out. It's a mess. I need to go wash it because I've been feeling this strong urge to change my appearance. And Uranus is retrograde in my 1st house natally, and that's what's happening now. So I'm going through a fucking Uranus return right now. And like I said, 1st house, house of self, it makes you want to change your appearance. And like now I'm like, yeah, I need a drastic new hairstyle that makes me more androgynous. Like, I'm tired of curly hair right now. But I'll be back in like 2 weeks. But just understand my point, right? So after that, we do have the new moon that is going to be in Leo. And if somebody would be so kind as to write down the timestamps below of everything, okay? But we do have the new moon in Leo that is going to happen about 2 days later, I want to say. Yeah, that's going to happen on August 8th, okay? You're going to start feeling the energy, give or take 3 days before, 3 days after. More than likely, well, let me not make any promises, but this is just an overall forecast for a view, just in case I'm not able to do individual videos. But if in case in point I will do individual videos when these transits happen to dive deeper, as well as pull some energies for individual signs, right? So this new moon in Leo is happening again. This is coming after we just went through our full moon in Aquarius part 1, because there is another full moon that's happening at the end of this month. Now, the new moon in Leo is going to occur on Sunday, August 8th, 2021, and it's going to make a challenging aspect to Uranus. So the spiritual meaning of this new moon, it relates to reacting to, unexpected changes in a progressive way with flexibility and self-awareness, because Leo is all about, self-awareness. Leo is sun energy. It's all eyes on me. Whereas, again, Uranus is the planet of change, unexpected, upheaval, all of that. Now, some things is going to be going on while this new moon is happening. We're going to have the sun conjunct moon, which basically represents the end of one cycle and the beginning of another 28-day cycle. That's what new moons are. It gives us an invigorating burst of energy and initiative. It also brings emotional balance, not irrationally emotional and not too cold and calculated. So this is definitely going to be an excellent time for making a fresh start, turning over a new leaf or starting a new project. You can also question old habits, behaviors, and beliefs as you search for new and inventive ways to make progress. Now, this is going to be a new moon that is going to be squaring Uranus, okay? I know I'm throwing a whole bunch of terms out there. That's because I'm hoping I get a whole bunch of new followers that actually understand what the fuck I'm saying. But for those of you guys that don't, conjunction basically means standing with. Square usually means facing off, right? So, if a planet is conjunct a planet, that means it's standing with. Like, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And yeah, we literally just had Mars conjunct Venus, which means, standing together like men and women, right? Whereas a new moon square Uranus, that means that the two planets are fighting each other, right? So with the moon fighting off Uranus, the planet of change, this is going to bring a lot of sudden and unexpected change, instability, chaos, and revolution. The moon is all about emotions and intuition. And again, Uranus is all about being a revolutionary, being a, what do you call it? Like, not introvert, but like independence and just standing on your own, right? And so there's going to be this unsettling feeling of impending change that can make you feel excited, but again, also restless, okay, anxious, nervous, and this is in turn going to lead to a lot of abruptness, unreliability, impulsiveness, rebelliousness, even unpredictable behavior. Are you guys noticing a theme for August yet? Child, hold on. My allergies are getting to me. Hold on. But are y'all noticing a theme yet? Right? So, there could be a lot of rapid changes in directions, accidents. You're going to feel the strong urge to express your true inner self without restriction. But willfulness and arrogance, it could easily lead to ego conflicts, especially if you take on superiors. This is not going to be a good time for impulsive changes, but you may have to just react to change, right? This is not a time where you want to go out there and force something to happen, but it's more so like in the event that change does happen and shit comes up, just go with the flow. Literally just go with the flow. Do not fight it. And that is who is going to have the easiest time throughout these transits, because here's the thing, right? Astrology is a wonderful tool, but that's all it is a tool, right? It tells you what's going to happen or the most likely events of what's going to happen based off of history and repeated patterns and things like that. But it's meant to be there as a guide to help guide you, right? And so it's kind of like a heads up. Like astrology is like a confirmation or a, what do you call it? Shot, I can't even think of the word, but it's just a heads up to let you know, hey, this is coming. It's happening regardless. How you choose to deal with it is on you. But that will determine whether or not you have a good time this week or a bad time. And so those that go with the flow, literally, and just let go and let God in every aspect, every area of their life, you're gonna do a lot more fun than people that try to fight this, right? The best way to do this, again, is flexibility, creativity, inventiveness, okay? Avoid stubbornly sticking to routines if the universe is sending messages that you need to change. And again, I've been feeling this energy because naturally in my natal chart, I have Uranus retrograde, right? And I told you guys, I'm a light worker, so I feel these planets and whatnot, way before you guys. And so that's why, even with me, the channel has become inconsistent, and it's like I may post this but then not post that, and then I'm all over the place because I'm really trying to figure out, okay, how can I best go with the universe? It's not just about what I want to do anymore. Now, the universe is pushing me to take on other things, new projects, and start shaping differently. So, I'm trying my best to work through this, so just imagine how it's going to be for you guys in your own areas of life. Now, open-mindedness and higher self-awareness is going to lead to a brave new path with exciting possibilities and opportunities, right? Now, the major astrological influence on this August 8th new moon is going to be the square to Uranus, which is going to bring, a lot of sudden unexpected change. Again, that rebellion. But see, the great thing about having this square off with a new moon in Leo is the fact that you're going to still have that, even though shit is going to change suddenly, you're also going to have that courage, because that's what Leo energy is. You're going to have that courage to be able to face whatever it is that you're being, served with, right? And so that's a good thing. It's this is not meant to be a time where you just panic and get emotional. No, this is a time to come into your strength and get into your bag. You know what I mean? So moving it along, this new moon is going to last for 4 weeks up till, the next new moon in September. So, best time for making any plans is around the waxing phase of the moon from August 8th up until August 22nd, which is going to be the full moon in Aquarius, opposite sign. So we do have a transit that is going to happen on August 11th. Mercury is going to enter Virgo, so that's going to be a time of, just excellent time to participate in research projects, putting your acquired knowledge into practice. Because Mercury is one of Virgo's, Virgo is one of Mercury's natal signs. Okay, if you don't know, Virgo and Gemini, their planet is Mercury. So, excellent time for those of you guys that have either Virgo or Gemini in Mercury in your chart. If you're a natural writer, more than likely you probably have a Mercury Gemini placement or something like that. Really good time for you. Okay. We're also going to have Venus that enters Libra on our August 16th, right? that's going to be a really good time. You know, you might find yourself going on some sort of like hidden dates, like sneaky links and things like that. You might even have an ex that comes back from the past, like, you know, the one that got away, and just shows up unexpectedly. And it's like, you know, you might decide to get into a relationship or just start testing the waters again, go out on a date. Because this time is going to be all about harmony, you know, reconciliation, fellowship, just making amends wherever there are issues, things like that. So this is not about running from debates, but kind of like handling and addressing things head on, you know? Whereas Pisces would be like, you know, I don't want to address the problems in our relationship. I just want to make it water under the bridge. No, Libra's more like, listen, I don't want to not address it and make it water under the bridge. And I also don't want to like fight it and make shit worse. I kind of just want to talk it out. Like, let's come to a common ground. Like, I hurt you, you hurt me. Let's both take accountability. That's what Venus in Libra is. It's like, if I love you, you love me, we can make this work, right? So on August 19th, we have the sun that's going to be opposite Jupiter, okay? And that could be a time where there may be some sort of internal struggle to control Jupiter's expansive nature, which can show up in each of you guys' life as an inflated ego, over exuberance, you know, a lot of excess and pleasure seeking. So during that time period, it could be a lot of ups and downs in your life, possibly related to like wealth, happiness, relationships. Might even be difficult to remain happy, content over those few days. You know, some of you guys might be feeling unfulfilled, you know, maybe even unlucky, like nothing is going in your favor. That's really what it is, right? Because your sun is the planet of, you know, your identity, right? And your ego. Jupiter is the planet of wealth and luck, right? But with the two opposite, it could feel like I'm not where I want to be in life, or I'm not making as much money, or, you know, very much like wealth and abundance attached to your identity. And like, you know, the darker side of that could come up, or even maybe a tendency to indulge, like overindulge, like, you know, escapism. So speaking of Uranus, which has been the star of this fucking entire video, on August 19th, we have Uranus, which begins its retrograding into Taurus, which is adventure time, right? Now, I've said it again, time and time again throughout this session. This transit, it can cause a certain eccentricity in the management of available resources because of a fear of change, an attachment to old structures, beliefs, and an attachment to the old mental programming, right? So it's like you're going to be getting all of these little nudges throughout the month, and then boom, August 19th, that's when the real star of the show is here, right? Like, appetizers all throughout the month, then boom, August 19th, boom, the entree, right? That's when Uranus is going to go retrograde, which is going to begin on August 19th, 2021 at 14 degrees Taurus, and it's not going to end and go direct until January 18th. At that point, it'll be 10 degrees Taurus, retrograding 4 degrees. Now, Uranus retrograde is generally associated with inner changes, okay? Anytime a planet goes retrograde, that means that it's about reflection, right? Okay, so this is going to be in response to external changes in your life. Uranus retrograde 2021, it brings a lot of excitement, initiative, curiosity, a sense of adventure. And so when this planet is transiting, right? When you have Uranus retrograding and it's transiting, this is a regular cycle that lasts 155 days every year, in which the planet moves 4 degrees backward through the zodiac. This is a time of interchange in response to external changes in your life. And any transits that Uranus makes to your chart is going to give you more detail about the type of change in the areas of life affected. So again, I was born with Uranus retrograde in my first house. So I already know that from now until the end of the year, this is going to be a huge emphasis on who I am. And if I thought I was that bitch before, now I'm about to be that bitch times 1,000, because I'm going to go through shit, or, you know, this could even be a time where I'm rewarded for, you know, all the challenges and whatnot that I went through before. And it pushes me even more into being that bitch and, you know, truly holding my identity and, you know, now placing me on a pedestal where other people see and recognize and go up for who I am and who I've become and the woman that I've become. Understand what I'm saying? That's how it affects someone in the first house. Now, you may have anticipated a major change in your life or tried to initiate change, but nothing has happened. In this case, transiting Uranus retrograde will induce the internal changes in attitude or behaviors which are necessary to make the desired change possible. Often the changes that you seek are to allow more personal freedom. Whatever the case, Uranus retrograde lets you process things internally before you're able to manifest that external change once Uranus turns direct. So another possibility could be is that you have been disruptive and rebellious, trying to force some sort of radical change. And whether your revolution was based on ignorance or the innocence of youth, Uranus retrograde is going to bring higher self-awareness and insights about the era of your ways, right? A period of less chaotic internal changes should follow. So if you have Uranus in your 7th house, you could have been in a relationship that you have been trying to make work. Okay, you keep telling everybody, oh no, it's just a pandemic. Once the pandemic's over, we're gonna be fine. No, Even though all the signs are on the fucking wall, you keep trying to make the impossible happen. And so now that Uranus is going back retrograde, now it's kind of like a review of everything that you did wrong. And then now what the universe actually wants to happen is gonna happen. And then now you're no longer with that person, and now you see why. Understand what I'm saying? Right. So during this time period, we're gonna have some transits happening. Mercury trine Uranus, which is gonna open your mind to a lot of new possibilities. Okay, it's gonna bring curiosity, inventiveness, flexibility, intuition, psychic awareness. Okay, those of you guys that are light workers, that are healers, that are psychics, that are intuitive, expect a lot of because this is a good aspect. Like expect your gifts to heighten during this time. Okay, this is going to allow you to take advantage of exciting changes, new information, unexpected opportunities. And these changes will be easy to make, easy to adapt to, and should not cause upset or chaos. This is also going to be a good time to make a lot of new friends, okay? There might be chance encounters, with eccentric people or those who can make your life more interesting and stimulating, right? An increase in communication through the internet is likely. Especially those of you guys that's looking for love, you might even find love like on a dating site, or, this would be a good time to start your own website or to learn skills associated with computers, technology, science, or occult subjects like astrology, right? Again, bringing me back into it. I told you guys the last couple of weeks, months, this is what I've been diving deeper into because I know it's coming up. I just intuitively feel, and I'm, just on a different timeline, right? But this is a good time to change your outdated beliefs, your negative behaviors, and bad habits. And then also we have Jupiter that just went retrograde back into Aquarius, which is also going to double down on a lot of this. So expect a lot of spiritual changes as well, like on a deeper level, again, especially for those of you guys that are gifted. You're also going to have Mars trine Uranus, which is going to give an urge to experience new activities, feelings, and relationships. You should be more willing to express your passionate desires and break free of any previous restrictions or boring routines at this time. You can also trust your instincts and be a lot more confident about taking risks, okay? This is going to be a time to get new projects off the ground with daring initiative. Your sex drive and physical attractiveness is also going to get a good boost, so don't be surprised if you have a lot more eyes on you. You're out at the club, and like everybody's making out with you, everybody wants your number. Like, don't be surprised, because this can also match your increased desire for excitement and just pure sex, right? This is gonna be a horny fucking summer. I called it back in June, and halfway through it already is. Okay, so find a willing partner should come. Finding a willing partner for you should be relatively easy. And if you already have a partner, increased open-mindedness is going to lead to a lot of enjoyment and stimulation through experimentation. I'll just say, right? We're also going to have Mercury conjunct Mars, which is going to increase mental activity. Going to bring a lot of quick thinking, a lot of rapid reflexes, a sharp tongue. Now, on the downside in the world, this could lead to aggression, hurtful words, arguments. So, again, with all of these things, you're gonna see it happen on a global level, on a collective level, in the news and the media. even on like social media. You're going to see it happen there before you see it happen within, personally, right? So don't be surprised if it's well, we're definitely, masks are definitely coming back. Restrictions are definitely coming back. I got to do a Jupiter and Aquarius video, but those things are definitely coming back. And people are going to feel like they're being robbed of their freedom. That's what Uranus is. Uranus wants to be bold, wants to be the rebel. Uranus is the rebel. And so, with all of these different transits and whatnot, August can feel a bit restrictive. It can feel like, okay, we done went 10 steps forward to go 100 back. So you're going to see people react differently. You're going to see civil unrest. You're going to see protests that might even happen against the CDC and rules and things like that. Or, even civil protests of just because it's all about freedoms and just wanting to rebel, but feeling like you still have to do certain things. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Now, and a lot of you guys are definitely going to feel this personally on a personal level because 40% of the world was born under some sort of Uranus retrograde, okay? Because of how long it usually happens. So at least 40% of the world, has definitely, at least 40% of y'all are definitely gonna feel this energy because you had Uranus retrograde. Now on the 22nd, that's when the sun is gonna enter into Virgo. It's gonna be all about organization, realism, flexible thinking. A time of just organization, simplicity, things like that. Now, also on the 22nd, we're going to have part 2 of our full moon in Aquarius. Okay, we had our first full moon in Aquarius on July 23rd. And if that was not enough, guess who's back for part 2? So whatever doors did not open up on July 23rd, guess what's happening August 23rd? Okay, so let's say in July you realize, I need to get out of this house. I need to break this lease. August, for the full moon in Aquarius in August, that could be the time where you find that new location or you move into that new location. Maybe last full moon you realize, I don't really like this job. I'm quitting. Next full moon is possibly a time where you can start a new job, right? Whatever didn't happen is going to continue now. Or it could be a repeat of the same events, depending on what you worked on in the last 4 weeks, Now, this double full moon in Aquarius, the second full moon that occurred in the same zodiac sign during a calendar year, right? That's what a double full moon is. The first full moon in Aquarius in 2021 happened on July 23rd. Now, a double full moon aims to be aware of situations which were identified in the first full moon, but for one reason or another, the individual decided to hide them or not accept them again. So, really, this double full moon, it can be like hell on water, or it could be a very smooth transit, but it really ultimately depends on what did you learn around July 23rd when that full moon in Aquarius, the first one, happened. What did you learn, if anything? And so in the case of the double full moon that's happening on August 22nd, it's about change processes, possibilities for self-improvement, excess of pragmatism, positive interaction with friends, colleagues, authentic relationships. It's going to place a lot of the emphasis is going to be placed on opportunities for personal improvement. This Aquarius full moon on Sunday, August 22nd, is going to align with the planet Jupiter. So the spiritual meaning of full moon, it relates to personal, material, and spiritual growth and good fortune, right? So this full moon has an especially good influence on intimate relationships. Let me say that again. This full moon that is happening this August has an especially good influence on intimate relationships. My divine counterparts, my twin flames out there. Right. A combination of sensible and exciting aspects makes this an excellent moon phase for finding a long-term partner or having an exciting one-night stand if that's what you're into. And couples can find a greater commitment while also enjoying more stimulating and adventurous activities. Now, for my divine counterparts out there, up until this point, we've talked about Uranus so goddamn much and the changes and all of that that's happening. Do you not see how this all supports union if you're not in union yet? Right, let's talk about it. So, we're going to have sun opposing the moon, okay? That's when you're gonna, brings your home, your family, your intimate relationships into sharper focus for the following 2 weeks of this moon phase. Opposing forces such as work versus home, or what you need versus what you want, that creates inattention and external pressures, which can lead to conflict and crises that drain your energy. Now, the lunar qualities of emotions and instincts reach their peak at a full moon. So you're going to want to use your increased emotional strength and intuition to overcome any relationship challenges. Subconscious awareness allows for an impartial and balanced look at your personal relationships. And you're also going to be able to see clearly any relationship dynamics or negative feelings causing disharmony. Now, when it comes to this full moon, it's going to be conjunct Jupiter, okay? Which means it's going to be with Jupiter, which is going to bring a lot of optimism, a lot of generosity, a lot of good luck, success. Now, again, this is a full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is all about, independence. It's all about being number one. It's about innovativeness. So who's really going to win during this full moon? The people that dare to be different. The people that dare to let their freak flag fly. And if you have not noticed yet throughout all of this, that's what August is all about. It's all about being a fucking risk taker. Go towards new life. Be who you are authentically meant to be. Uranus is Aquarius energy, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, let's double check that. Yeah. Yep. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So I'm telling you, this is a month to go big. Go big. Whoever you're meant to be, go big, go hard, or get shaken the fuck up. And so those that are out there that's creating, the YouTube channel with a different point of view and the ways of, and listen, I have Uranus in my first house. I also have Neptune in my first house. I also have Saturn in my first house, okay, which makes me extremely fucking psychic, okay? But also it makes me extremely innovative. It makes me extremely creative. It makes me extremely mystical. I just have that X factor, literally, with those 3 planets in that first house, literally, okay? But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I know all too well what it's like to go out there and be a fucking risk taker and shake shit up. Like, I'm telling you, as someone whose whole mantra has been this, and that is literally my claim to fame, the way that I do shit, and I do it so differently than other people, this is a month where that needs to happen, okay? And again, please come to me for a personal reading so we can figure out where in your life this needs to happen, because that's also going to make a difference. Like, for me, it's in my first house. For you, it might be in your second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever. But this is the month where you need to take risk. You need to take risk, do something different, because those that stand out from the crowd are going to get the payoff. That's who's gonna reap the most benefits from Jupiter, which is wealth and abundance. Opportunities are going to arise for personal, material, and spiritual growth. It could come in the form of traveling. It could come in the form of education. It could come in the form of actual wealth, like actual money gains, like millionaire overnight. It could even come in the form of an intimate relationship. Like, this is a time, like, y'all don't understand. Oh, this whole time that I've been talking about new life getting here, this is it. This is it. But what are you going to do differently? Are you going to stop running from that person because you're scared of love and you're scared of a deeper fear of commitment? Or are you going to rebel against the mind programming that you set on yourself, or that society has set on yourself, and said, you know what? No, I'm going to go towards who's not my usual soulmate, because that's where I feel like my happiness is. And then boom, you realize that is the fucking soulmate of your fucking life. Or are you going to keep running from the career that you know that you're supposed to be doing, but you're scared to go up on stage and scared to be you? So you're settling for a fucking desk job or a fucking job at McDonald's. But the second you actually get up on stage, the second that you actually put that CD out, it goes fucking viral, and now you're signed to Universal Music. It's like, shit is here. New life is here. But where are you going to change? How are you going to change? Those that do are going to prosper. So this is going to be a full moon that makes you feel happy, content. Some of you, your caring and supportive attitude is going to bring new friendships and favors from other people. People are just going to want to help you naturally because of your energy, because of your creativity, because of how independent and how rebellious, and just because they believe in you. Some of you might even have a significant woman in your life that could have some sort of positive effect on your emotional well-being. Now, while the moon with Jupiter is a very positive influence, the sun opposite Jupiter does bring the potential for some over optimism. Okay, because there's always a duality with everything. So there could be some over optimism, some greed, some arrogance, some immorality. So just be thankful for any good fortune and remember to share. Okay, remember to share. Remember to share. Charity is everything. Okay, use self-control and moderation to avoid loss, disappointment, and embarrassment. Now, we're going to have some different aspects. We're going to have Venus trine Saturn, which is going to be an ideal time for finding true love and commitment. So those of y'all that's, am I going to find love? Am I going to find love? Am I going to find love? All those tarot videos that you've been watching, this would be the month that it manifests. This would be the month that it manifests. Do y'all see why I'm gearing up to do more videos like this? Let me repeat, Venus trine Saturn. This is an ideal time period for finding true love and commitment. Everything is supporting union right now for those that are divine counterparts. And even if you're single and you ain't in a twin flame dynamic, this is an ideal time for finding the one. Relationships benefit from a sensible approach, steady affections. A new romance could very well be with someone from a different age group and would likely be a long-lasting soulmate union. Existing relationships should enjoy closer bonding and stability. Mutual respect and practicality can resolve long-term relationship problems. Now, we're also going to have Mars trine Uranus, which is going to bring initiative, because Mars is the planet of passion, right? You already know what Venus is. That's like your love language. That's, the planet of love and the arts and the finer things, whereas Mars is the planet of like determination, courage, passions, right? So, there's going to bring a lot of initiative, a lot of excitement, a lot of adventure. You should have the freedom, the willingness, and the opportunity to experience stimulating new activities, feelings, and relationships. I cannot repeat it enough. Uranus is the planet of rebellion. Mars is the planet of passion. So suddenly you have the planet of passion trining with the planet of rebellion. It's like, I thought I wanted to do this, but no, now I want to do this. Work with this energy this month, you all. Please work with this energy. Do not let the energy work you. Work with it. Strong instincts and a daring attitude are going to be what make this a good full moon and take risk. A lot of intensely passionate desires and a lowering of inhibitions is going to make this an extremely good influence on sexual relationships. Okay? So just to wrap it up, with this full moon 2021 for August summary, this Aquarius full moon is going to join the planet Jupiter to bring good fortune, happiness, and success. This is going to be an excellent full moon for intimate relationships, okay? Because Jupiter is going to bring growth, bring honesty. A lot of you guys that are light workers, that have, that are in divine partnerships, it's been feeling like a huge series finale lately. I know I've been going through it, not only with the planetary transits, the cosmic transits, but the spiritual attacks. It's been bad. The worst has been ever. And it's feeling like the worst series finale ever. And this is why. This is why. Union is here. New life is here. It's here. And this full moon is going to activate and shine a light on all of this. While Mars is trining Uranus, this is going to bring in a lot of intense passion, excitement. Again, if you're single, the combination of these aspects, it gives you the confidence to make the first move, find your perfect match. So regardless of whether or not you're in a twin flame soulmate counterpart dynamic, this is still a good time for you to put yourself out there. Go on dating sites, go into dating environments, okay? Because this is a time where love manifests. Again, you have to work with the planets, okay, when they're allowing you to, okay? That's how this game works, y'all. That's why astrology is so beautiful and important, because once you learn how this shit works, you can work with it, rather than you try to find love in December and now all the planets are restricting it for another 6 months. Work with this energy. And that's why it's so important for people to take heed of what's going on and get on their shit, because if the universe is opening up the window of opportunity for counterparts to come into union, ain't no telling when the next time that's going to be. Especially when a lot of these transits, they take like 12 years to happen again. This is all divine timing. That's all that divine timing is all it is. So again, if you're single, the combination of these aspects, it can give you the confidence to make the first move, find your perfect match. Couples can tighten the bonds of love through adventurous sexual experimentation. And a Jupiter full moon does require some moderation. However, Venus trine Saturn sensibilities should keep any Mars trine Uranus over exuberance in check. Now, the influence of the August 22nd full moon combines with that of the August 8th new moon. So the major theme of that new moon was reacting to unexpected changes in a progressive way with flexibility and self-awareness. And the effects of the August 22nd full moon is going to last for 2 weeks up to the September 6th new moon. Last thing that we're going to have is Mercury entering Libra on the 30th, which is just going to, I would say, keep an eye on the events that unfold during the end of the month, because your point of view is going to be very important. And, you know, especially those of you that are creative, you're going to have a preference for doing more creative things. And that's going to be a really good time to, I would say, either work on a project or release a project. Okay. Because you're going to be very, very much tuned into creativeness and the arts. Ciao. I hope y'all enjoyed this. It's time for me to get off. Okay. Allergies is fucking me up. I did not expect this to be 45 minutes. I hope that people watch this because I know that this is new. I know that people didn't expect this from me, but I'm telling you guys, definitely go to my website, thealigningsouls.com, to book your personal reading. You know, we need to figure out what's going on with you. Okay. Help you get into, not only help you get into alignment and of course, you know, the regular traditional therapy alignment sessions. Yes. But given the transits and whatnot that's coming up, we need to figure out how this is affecting you, because I just gave you guys the collective energies of how, you know, collectively people are going to be affected. But we need to figure out how you on a personal level are going to be affected, right? Because if you have Uranus in your second house, but you have Mars in your 10th, then, you know, sure, that might be good for somebody else, you know, when Uranus and Mars are squaring off or doing whatever they're doing. But for you, it might be that, yeah, you get a new job, but now you're broke as shit and you're in debt, right? So again, we have to dive deeper into your personal charts to figure out how you are personally being affected. And so, yeah, I want to help you guys do that. Definitely book your personal reading with me, thealigningsouls.com. You can find that on screen as well as in the description box below. Those of you guys that remember me from doing entertaining videos, I have started my entertainment channel, Sky Santana World, back up. You can go to youtube.com/Sky Santana World for my story times and TV show recaps and, you know, hot topics and all of that great stuff. All right. So I love each and every one of y'all. Go book a reading, and life is all about alignment. And I'm literally here to help put you back into the universe. I'll see you in the next one.